All right, hey guys, we're here with another Alovéa Pros podcast, and boy, oh boy, am I excited for this one because we have got Miki with us today, and I'm telling you, when you talk about stories and really how stories can transform your life when something happens from a health perspective, and this I think is one of those inspiring stories that shapes someone's life, and now she's inspiring people's lives really because what happened to her, but also what she found along the way. And Miki, it's a pleasure to have you with me today.
Thanks, Craig. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, well, we were hanging out together not that long ago. We were up in the mountains, up in Western North Carolina, hanging out. I mean, your story is really fascinating, but it started with kind of what you started off from a schooling perspective, because you were heavy into chemistry and biology and became board certified, and really, like, that was your passion. Like, why did you get into that space? What was it about that got you interested in that world?
Well, I grew up as a competitive athlete, and I just always had a love and passion for the human body and how it works. And as an athlete, trying to stay and be healthy. And in my senior year of college, I had graduated from UNC Wilmington and then Duke University School of Medicine, and was on a trajectory for the traditional medical model. But my senior year at Duke, I had a medical crisis and was diagnosed with a chronic degenerative autoimmune condition, which really changed the trajectory of my life.
Mm-hmm.
At 23, they told me I probably wouldn't live 5 years.
Wow.
And traditional medicine doesn't have a cure for autoimmune, so the only treatment is massive steroids to completely intentionally destroy your immune system. And oh, by the way, it also destroys your digestive system and my bones and most of the other body systems. So after 20 years of that, they decided there was nothing else they could do for me.
Well, that was a 20-year process that started, because I mean, I know you and I have a shared love of tennis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you were a great tennis player. I don't know who your favorite tennis player was back in the day. Did you have a favorite?
My favorite is still Roger Federer.
I mean, that's why we get along so well. I mean, how can you say anybody other than Roger Federer? But I
He's the
mean,
GOAT.
that he is incredible. But I mean, that really transformed. Like, it wasn't just something you got sick. Because a lot of times you hear stories people got ill for a couple years or it impacted, but this was a 20-year process. Why was it so difficult for the medical system to even figure this out?
Well, because the traditional medicine, they basically treat the symptoms and they don't look at the root cause. And so, after 20 years, they just told me there was nothing else they could do and essentially sent me home to die. But I knew God wasn't done with me yet, so I started looking at natural options, and I found a technology that saved my life and has kept me alive for the last 25 years. I like to tell people it kept me alive till I could find Alovéa. So 5 years ago, I was introduced to Alovéa, and it has taken my health to a whole new level.
Well, tell us about that story, because you know you're running a practice today. You're working with people. You've got an active life, and you've seen, after 20 years, you've seen some shifts. But then your life was really transformed. How were you introduced to Alovéa in the beginning?
A dear friend of mine who knows I'm a holistic healthcare practitioner introduced this to me and told me I should really take a look at this. And it was really the stem cell therapy that got my attention. I had used stem cell therapy to actually regrow my insulin producing cells and got rid of my type 1 diabetes and regrew my liver after liver cancer. So I understand the power of stem cells. So my inner guidance immediately knew this was something that I needed to look into. And so I did.
Wow. And it's interesting because you went down running a holistic clinic today, but in the beginning, when you're going through biology and chemistry and what you're trying to do in the traditional medical field, was it all of the health challenges that you went through that led you to this alternative way to thinking and even wanted to follow that from a practice perspective? Is that what kind of really shaped your whole healthcare background?
Yeah, I have a broad background in the traditional and the human body and how it works. And you have a body where nothing works. It kind of inspires you to
Look at it differently, right?
look at it differently. And I've actually overcome 36 different diseases or life-threatening conditions. So it has been a journey. I give gratitude every day, and what better way to be a healer than have a body where nothing works?
Well, that's a beautiful philosophy to have, like, because you could look at it from a different, so it's not only showing your mental strength, but also your ability to learn and try new things. So when you were introduced to Alovéa, what was that first technology or product that had that impact on you? And what and why do you think it had that impact on you?
Well, because of all the damage done to the immune system and the digestive system, and every joint in my body was compromised and in severe discomfort. And I was allergic to narcotics and I couldn't take anything over the counter. So I was just in constant pain for 45 years. And that interferes with my cheery disposition. So when I started the Alovéa, I started with the Ace Mannin and the Betalins, and my digestive issues. I mean, 45 years of diarrhea stopped in 5 days. That's life
Wow.
changing right there.
Wow.
The inability to digest food, absorb nutrients, and eliminate waste was resolved in 5 weeks. Autoimmune was reversed in 9 months. So, and then the joint issue, I've been pain free for 5 years now, and that's allows me to actually live an active life.
Yeah, you came down here to the mountains and we were hanging out and we
That's
are
right.
walking through
I turned.
castles and through the mountains. It's interesting because when you look at it's not like these products are curing or doing anything along that
Yeah,
line, but if you can put your body in the right environment, and all this is food, right? It's food-based technology. So when, were you guys surprised to seeing that so many of the answers that you've been looking for actually came down to really clean, pure foods and different things that Mother Nature and God gives us?
yeah. I saw it as just an answer to prayer and a gift from God. And the whole premise of my practice is to remove the toxins, get the bad stuff out of the body, put the good food, this food technology that nourishes the body at a cellular level, which allows the body to heal and repair itself the way it was designed to, and then use the frequency to just reset and rebalance and support the body in that process. So if you can do that, the body doesn't need to be diseased.
It does what it needs to do. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, you hear these incredible stories and you hear this from athletes and coaches and trainers. And this program is the company Alovéa, which is a social business. So every single product they sell, they create a matching serving for children in need. And they just surpassed 58 million donations to children. But, at the
that's
end of the
amazing.
day, it's so cool, isn't it? But you could just simply have used the products yourself and just had to transform your life. They have a special program where they're sponsoring healthcare professionals and coaches and trainers and athletes. And you applied for this program called Alovéa Pros. The company sponsored you, which is a cool setup. But you didn't have to do that. So why did you decide to kind of put your hang up your hat here and say I'm going to be a sponsored pro with this company? What was the decision? Because now you're putting your credibility line as a professional, not just what it did for you
Mhm.
personally, but now you're also putting your credibility tied into this company. So what was the reason you chose to do that?
Well, I was a social business partner already, but as a former competitive athlete and knowing the value and integrity of this company and its leadership, I saw the opportunity to just kind of open another door, and I jumped on it.
That's awesome. So what are your thoughts are looking forward? What are the things that are most exciting for you when you think of not only your own practice, now that you're feeling better in life, like you said, you've been traveling, you do different things. What's the next few years look like with Alovéa and as a pro and sharing this with others? What is your kind of hopes and dreams around being partnered with this company?
Well, I think the big thing for me is to really inspire and reach out to folks that, 6 out of 10 American adults have a chronic disease and 4 out of 10 have two or more. Having gone through 3 dozen myself, I've kind of got some experience with that. So I can't stress enough how important it is to prevent disease by, giving the body what it needs to heal and repair. And it's just exciting that I just recently turned 70 and I'm healthier than I was in my 20s.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
I'm
First
doing
of all,
yoga 3 times a week and
I would have never guessed you're
working
70,
out
first of all. So, I
twice a
mean,
week.
that is amazing.
Yeah, I used to babysit Moses, but it, it gives me encouraging. One time I never thought I'd see this day. So I hope to inspire others to, just really take responsibility for our own health and, just really focus on optimal health and adequate hydration, deep recuperative sleep, and consistent movement. So if I can do it, then anybody can. So that's really the message that I try to get out there, that
Well,
it's only
it's a
too late if you don't start now.
yeah, I mean, first of all, there's wisdom in that statement in itself, but you said something that was so powerful. Like, you feel better and healthier than when you were 20. I mean, there's not a lot of people can say that, but when you can start at any stage and it can have a massive shift in your life, and you're an example of that. And we touched on it earlier, and we'll wrap up with this, but I know one of the things that's dear to you as well, and so many people with this company, is that it is a social business. And meaning, like Tom Shoes, buy one, give one, where it gives to a cause that the company's connected to. And this company is a public benefits corporation where they're allowed to basically use their profits for good. And the company founder and his wife are very committed to nourishing children around the world. 7 million kids die of malnutrition every year. And we're using the same technology that transformed your life, Miki, to those same children who are in really difficult situations around the world. And it's amazing to see the impact. What does it mean to you being part of that? Like, how does that inspire you? And what do you love about that program?
I think it's awesome because what I try to express to my clients is that this isn't a job for me. This is my passion. This is my life's work. And in my eyes, this is my ministry. This is how God has allowed me to help other people because of my journey and because of finding the best of the technologies out there and experiencing that myself, and then helping to educate and empower others to be able to do the same thing for themselves.
Wow. Well, Miki, you are an inspiration, in your story and your journey. It's so obviously, I know we've got our connection with tennis, but to see the well, in Western North Carolina or North Carolina, because we're both here. But I mean, to see your journey and who you are today and how you're inspiring people. And I know this podcast is going to be very meaningful, impact a lot of people's lives. So thank you for being with us today.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
All right. Look forward to seeing everybody on our next Alovéa Pros podcast. Bye bye.